Developed by Dynamic Pixels and published by Tiny Build, originally for the personal computer on Microsoft Xbox One in 2017, was Hello Neighbor. The game was divided into 4 arcs. And in these arcs, the player assumed control of a boy, Nicky Roth, as he needs to find out the secret of a mysterious neighbor whose home was located near his own, and through events depicted in the game, discovers and even experiences more than he dared to imagine. The game that eventually became Hello Neighbor went through many developmental changes, and had a massive amount of implementations to its conceivement. Aspects of the game were modified through its development, even reimagined as well. As a result, the finished game was considered to be a bizarre experience from critics and gamers. Despite massive amounts of criticisms, the Hello Neighbor video game was turned into a franchise, and the related games of the Hello Neighbor series had developmental problems and continuity errors due to lack of communications with developers, even continuity efforts or inconsistencies between details depicted in game installments. The series of games at the time also promoted a self-proclaimed revolutionary style of artificial intelligence to challenge gamers. The original premise was that players of the game could have a challenging factor in the neighbor at which the horror theme of the game would have made it difficult to progress through the arcs and provide a naturally drawing experience. However, from information now known, the artificial intelligence was infamously difficult, as it was able to learn too well from repeated methods of play, and as a result became unbearingly difficult to go up against, or inconsistencies with the artificial intelligence, where the player was able to do everything needed without much of a threat from the neighbor. Throughout the Hello Neighbor games, the neighbor, whose real name is Theodore Peterson, was a particular individual, in which lore or details pertaining to the character would actually be modified, changed, or reconned from official continuity, as facts for the character existed through multiple games and other related forms of media. But aside from a few details that remained consistent, hardly anything is technically known about him that all the critics or gamers were able to agree upon as fact. This was explained through the playthrough of the games, where particular examples had little to no dialogue, and the game progressed through displays of flashbacks, various imagery, and non-dialogue based actions, to give the player a sense of interpretation or of events relating to the neighbor, even reasons for his actions in which they might change or be reconned. It was naturally frustrating for gamers to precisely understand exactly what the Hello Neighbor games were about, or even Theodore Peterson as a character, as a result of not technically having a definitive or consistent origin, understandable lore, coherent continuity, or relatable circumstances. The neighbor was later considered to be one of the most hated characters from the late 2010s and early 2020s. A character can be overrated yet hated due to various aspects of information not necessarily making much sense to anyone at all.